Even in Kyoto, hearing the cuckoo's cry, I long for Kyoto. We humans are born with an innate fire that fuels us to make an impression on the world. This flame has led to our advancement into civilization. It makes us want to fight injustices, to advance who we are, but those very noble drives lead to some of our worst atrocities. The desire to make a difference naturally leads to a desire to control people, to make them see our way or to move out of our way for a better world. We want the power to define ourselves. Definitions belong to the definers, not the defined after all. These are not a corruption of our pure ambitions, but a natural extension of what happens when we forget to rein them in and remember that other people need to live as well. When we try to separate the positive outcomes of our ambition from the negative, we end up being denial, which leads to the very tragedies we try to run from. We're mad, self-indulgent, frequently immoral, but we always strive for something new and wonderful. This duality isn't shameful, but it must be understood so we don't repeat our worst excesses. Freedom is not the same as lack of accountability. If we don't have the strength to keep up kindness to the world, we will fall in decision and or morality. A bird that would soar above the level plane of tradition and prejudice must have strong wings. Our strength lies in this desire for change, and whatever its consequences, we'd be losing the most important part of ourselves if we sacrificed at the curve of its evil. From a certain point onward, there is no longer any turning back. That is the point that must be reached. In order to create dazzling cities, we devastate the ancient forests and sacrifice countless workers. We keep our course until a new change sweeps over us. Humans are in a constant cycle of overthrows and revolutions, but in general, our carnivorous impulses with time can be offset by our tendency towards kindness. We like to say you can't visit the sins of the father upon the child. While we clearly don't live by the rule, we're absorbing, on average, a little less of those sins every generation. Sure, there'll always be psychos who just want to hurt others, but in general, most of us are trying to protect those closest to us in some way. With most turns of the cycle, the world gets just a little bit kinder, more enlightened. It'll never be perfect, but it can always be improved. The truth rarely wins out in the end, but neither do the lies. There's something at work in my soul which I do not understand. I'm practically industrious, but besides this, there's a love for the marvelous, a belief in the marvelous, intertwined in all my projects, which throws me out to the wild sea and unvisited regions I'm about to explore. Humanity is a rush of impulses, destructive and positive, hostile that is difficult to describe in anything but terms of duality. At any given moment, it may seem awful and petty, devoted to itself, but a look over the years reveals that it's constantly working to improve itself. Even in its most shameful moments have taught us how not to act. Humanity is a battle where knowledge and love are slowly getting ground, even if they will never win.